Egg prices have increased noticeably in recent months and are projected to rise another 20% this year. That's according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Those living in rural areas may be wondering if it's worth it to farm your own chickens. WAGM's Rothery Sullivan spoke to a chicken farmer.
From egg to plate, chickens serve many purposes throughout their life cycle. This is why many Mainers choose to raise their own birds, either for meat, eggs, or both. Meet Erica Burkhart, a Hodgdon farmer and business owner that raises chickens. She sells eating eggs, fertilized eggs, hens, and butchered whole chickens at her shop in Holton. Burkhart says while raising chickens does have its challenges, there are many benefits.
It's worth trying. And I encourage people to do that. And there are so many people that will take a half-grown chicken if you decide it's not for you.
Burkhart has advice for people interested in raising chickens. She says if people are looking to sell chickens or eggs, balancing out finances can be a challenge. She adds while people may want to save money on buying cheaper food, it's important to look out for the health of your chickens.
Giving them what we think every animal needs to be healthy, which is plenty of space and sunshine and grass and dirt and access to all these things.
Burkhart says it's important to protect your livestock. Because baby chicks need to be in a warm environment until they're grown, she recommends getting proper equipment set up before purchasing any chickens.
The other biggest challenge is predators. We have a livestock guardian dog for that, and so she is nocturnal. She runs all night, and with the exception of some minor killings that weren't predator related, we have never lost a chicken or a duck on our farm, and so that's a worthy investment even for a homesteader or a backyard enthusiast.
And people should make a plan for how they will take care of their chickens throughout their entire lifespan, even after they no longer lay eggs.
You got to kind of prepare yourself for being responsible for a chicken. Are you going to rehome it? Are you going to, eat it? But that's something to think about beginning to end, because a chicken lifespan is not very long and their laying span's even shorter.
While there are challenges to raising chickens, Burkhart recommends giving it a shot. Her daughter, Jolene, who is responsible for taking care of the chickens, says her favorite thing about having chickens is getting to feed them.
Walking over to dump their scraps, because in the mix pen, it's like they're like everywhere chasing you because they want the scraps.
Those who are interested in raising chickens should look for online chicken and homesteading groups. These groups will offer advice and be able to answer questions.